Many years ago, Lisa and myself and Daddy went to Kentucky to watch Dermot with Hallmark Elite. And Lisa and myself and Daddy had a wee spin round the cross country, and it was absolutely amazing. The height of it, the jumps was unbelievable, and never in all our wildest dreams did we ever think we'd have a horse good enough to go to Kentucky and win the 5-star Kentucky event. And then it was very special after that because Oliver arrived in Northern Ireland and presented Daddy with the Breeders' Prize from Kentucky, which was very special.
Bellavalent is Rosalent's full sister, and they are quite different natured, especially at this age. Rosalent was quite sharp and quite alert of everything, where she's quite settled and just takes everything in her stride.
In 1999, I believe, we had a lovely black mare. Harry Marshall had rode her for a few years. Lisa and Mandy both produced her, and then we decided we needed a new rider. So we talked long and hard, and we came up with Dermot Lennon. He lived up the road from us. We could go up and down to see the mare anytime because she was very special to us. Daddy had bought her as a 3-year-old, and he called her Valent after his mother. So Dermot took the horse, and we all toodled off that year to Spain. And this was our first major road trip, and what a road trip we had. Then he was riding a lovely horse called Lascalgate, and Daddy and 2 other people bought a share in her. And lo and behold, she got the World Championships and she won the gold medal, which was very, very special for Dermot because he just is an amazing rider and puts so much time and effort into everything he does. And we've had a long connection with him, and he's rode lots of horses for us that Lisa and Mandy's both produced, and then he takes them on to top level because you have to go to the best to be the best. And we're very happy to have been able to help him and him help us over the years.
Hope, as we know her at home, yeah, she started out, she was a little bit wild when she first came in from the field, but within 2 weeks she settled down and has been the most nice-natured girl, and yeah, she just takes everything in her stride. She loves to be petted, loves to be worked with, and yeah, she's great. She is a great girl. She's great. She qualified for Dublin at Scarteen, and she's a 4-year-old mare, and I started riding her at the start of this year, and she's just been brought along very quietly and has done a little bit of show jumping and a few cross-country schools. She's about 16.2 at the minute, and she's actually very lovely. She's a lovely mare to work with. She's very quiet-natured, temperament in every direction. She's lovely. I would give her to anybody to work with.
Many years ago, Daddy thought it would be a good idea to go and buy a thoroughbred mare. And he bought her and brought her home, and she was called Sister of Gold. And he took her to stud, and it was covered by Roselier. The first mare we got then was Bellaney Jewel. And the story goes from Bellaney Jewel. She went to George Stewart's and did a few point-to-points, and then we sent her to John Quinn in England, and her best winning was the Welsh Borders National. She won enough races to get black type, which we don't really know a whole lot about because we're not racing people, we're show jumping people. Then we brought her home, and we decided we were going to put her in foal. We hemmed and had, and at that stage Lisa was riding Valent, and we decided we'd try Valent. People thought we were mad, but in the end of the day, I think we were right. So we've had a few nice horses out of Valent from her. Dermot sourced Valent for us. He actually was in Holland and rang Daddy and said, I found a horse for Lisa and I have 5 minutes to buy him because so many people's queuing up to buy him. And Daddy just said, will Lisa be able to ride him? And Dermot says, he'll be perfect for Lisa. And he says, well, just you buy him. And he brought him to Liverpool, I believe, because Dermot wouldn't put him on a transport lorry. And Lisa collected him in Liverpool, and she heard this roaring coming from the stable, and she said to the man whose stables he was in, I'm here to collect my horse. And he says, yeah, that's him roaring there in the background. And he came out of the stable and he was a stallion, which we actually had no idea he was a stallion. And we brought him home, and it was history because he was such a beautiful horse, so pleasant to work with, and Lisa clicked with him right away. She got to a Nations Cup on him in Drammen.
That's clear all the way there for Lisa Rosbotham and Valent.
He is actually retired now, and he is in our orchard at the front of our house and living the dream also. He comes in during the winter into the stable and let out every day into the paddock, and in the summertime he lives in the orchard. He bred us beautiful horses and has bred lots of nice horses, but in my opinion he hasn't been used enough. But who they don't use him, they're missing out. First foal from Bellaney Jewel was a beautiful black colt. We called him Bellaney Knight. And Bellaney comes from the house that we lived in Dromore. So most of Daddy's racehorses was called Bellaney. Valent was her second foal, and Rachael broke him and rode him as a 4-year-old, and then Claire Abbott got him to ride. He went to Leon as a 6 and 7-year-old and was placed. He then went to the Europeans as a 9-year-old and finished in the top 15. Then he went to a few internationals and was placed, and just before Christmas we took a decision and he was sold to America. The third foal was Bellaney Jewel, and she was a thoroughbred by Doyen. Stuart Crawford got her to train, and she won a few races in England also, and then she got hurt, so we brought her home, and we have a gorgeous filly foal out of her by Poet's Word, and is also now in foal, hopefully, to Valent. Her next foal was Rosalent, which we don't need to say a whole lot about. She was lovely foal. Rachael did a bit of work with her, as she already said, and then Colin Halliday got her and produced her and got her to Dublin, where she was, I think, second. There was a problem with the first horse and we got first. And Richard Shane bought her, and he put the Cooley in front of Rosalent, so she's now known as Cooley Rosalent. And then Oliver Townend has her. Valent was a lovely bay colt foal, and Rachael broke him and she decided she was keeping him. And she rode him from he was 4, and she got to Mill Street with him and finished second in the 7-year-old class, which was very special for us also. And then, of course, when you have so many nice horses, lots of people want them. And he was sold to Sophia, who has competed him ever since in England and has finished, I think, a 4-star event on him and was placed. We found her hard to get in foal, the mare Bellaney Jewel, and we tried a few times, and then luck struck again and we got Bellavalent. and she's qualified with Rachael for Dublin, and she's such a lovely mare and so nice and just a pleasure to work with. And then we have one left out of her, which is going to be called Valent, and he is a 3-year-old bay horse, a bit like Valent. Bellaney Jewel is still living, and she's living a dream. She's 24 now, and she's running the fields in Bellavalent and has been well cared for by the lady that cared for Valent when he was a 4-year-old.
I joined Kionan Stables must be nearly 12 years ago, and I do a little bit of everything in the yard, between mucking out to riding to grooming, looking after the horses. I do a bit of everything really. I broke Bellavalent, and I actually broke her older brother, Valent. I started him off as a 4-year-old, and then obviously he went on ahead to be produced by Claire Abbott. And I broke Rosalier. Unfortunately, I wasn't riding at the time, so the girl that was working with us, Olivia, she actually backed her at that stage. I actually had taken a little break from riding because I had a car accident, and when I came back, I got Bellavalent's older brother, Valent, who I produced up to 2-star level and took him to Mill Street as a 7-year-old, and we were second.
I never rode horses. I was afraid. I jumped in the riding club twice because they needed somebody extra on the team, and Philip had to warm the horse up before I got on him, and then I just got on him and went in and jumped and came out and got off him. I exercised all the horses and all at home for them and rode them and all, but I wouldn't jump them. I cleaned them out, groomed them, I got them ready for shows, tacked them up. Then I got my driver's licence and I'd start driving them.
I would start them as 3-year-olds and start with their lunging and their long line and then get them backed, and then I would throw them away to the field for a couple of months, and then they will come back in as 4-year-olds and then just start the whole process again, and then we just take it from there, whatever speed they're going at, and away we go. It's amazing at how you can, you would produce one, you think you get one good one out of a mare, but we've now got 4. So we've had 4 there, and it's lovely to have it, and obviously it would be nice if we had more of them coming along, but the last one's 3, so it'll be next year's the last one. But yeah, no, it's been lovely. It's been lovely for the Rosbotham family to have bred so many lovely event horses, and yeah, let's hope it all continues.
Dublin Horse Show to our family has been very special. We have had a lot of nice horses jumping in Dublin. The Hallmark Elite horse won the 6-year-old class with Dermot, and it was very special because Lisa brought him on from a 4-year-old. Lisa and Mandy both won classes in Dublin, and we have been going to Dublin for many, many years, and I remember going to jump in Lisa and Mandy jumping in the indoor in Dublin a long time ago, and it was just fantastic, and I wish they'd bring it back.
In the lead up to Dublin, my plan will be just basically to maybe try and go and do a few 2 phases or go as you pleases if they're tootling about, and do a bit of show jumping in between and keep her nice and happy on the flat, and that'll be the plan.